Good night, fellow punters. If there was a clock on the wall in this room, it should be around 10:30, I would suggest. Back to basics, back to the old fashioned way. I'm in the Lake Hotel in Killarney, and the similar problem to the last time, I can't get the Wi Fi to work on my laptop, which puts me at a bit of a disadvantage, even looking at the races and whatever. So I had to be looking on my phone with at the bookie sites. Um, I also need a favour as well. If anyone has the number for Job, you'd want the patience of Job, is an old saying. Well, I'd like to be able to ring Job and see when the patience run out, what happens? What do you do next? Because after 3 days, they're on the verge. Similar problems to the other mornings. I couldn't get them out of bed this morning or whatever happened. If it wasn't the phone to something else, it was. We're supposed to be leaving at 9 or quarter past this morning. I think it's 10:30, and we're getting out of the Langer Bay. We headed our usual route, which was pissing out of the heavens, and the fog was brutal going up the Caha Pass, so we've seen nothing. Pulled up Molly Galvans, but Stephen was busy, and Francis. There was a big crowd there. They're doing well, way better than last year. I didn't even get my tea and scone. They were that busy. And we didn't pull in the Atlantic Way. I thought we'd pull for lunch. I was starving because I had my breakfast at 8 and this was 1:45. So they said no. And yet we're only gone about 20 minutes further down the road and says, if you find some place to pull to eat, we will. So we went into Muckross house and we went into the cafe. They had a bit, I just had soup and brown bread. Kept me going because I wanted to be hungry for the roast beef to see what you had about 7 o'clock or quarter past in Falcha. They joined me. They ate plenty, but we come home. We're home for 8:30. I just had to shoot back to get diesel, and then I tried to get set up with this and couldn't. So it left me slower. So I have. Onto today. We had 3 running. I was thinking sort of this morning, yeah, these 3 will probably place, but only one of the 3 placed, which was executive decision. That ran pretty well, but I think the 7 furlongs, 6.5 would be ideal for it. And when they changed camera, when they came head on, it looked like he might hustle a bit better and win for us, but came third, 11-1, money made, profit made. Inzone was desperate to disappoint, and again, but he got. You need to be drawn high and come on the rail if you're coming from behind. So when he was drawn in one, he needed to get cover. Sure, he travelled wide the whole way. Sure, he was better after 3 furlongs then. And Miami was a disappointment. Didn't jump well enough to be in contention. There was a heap of money that was into 5-1 today. The drift stunk a little before the off. But there was money for severals, but none for the winner. Foley's yoke. But anyway, on we move to tomorrow. 2 for tomorrow. In the 220 at Punchestown, we have a bus horse. First Dare tipped up the last time at 15-2. Speed, I think it's 6-1. Tom Herney for Liz Doyle. Went up from 111 to 119, £8 of a rise. It was second in this race last year as a 5-year-old, so you'd imagine it was sort of targeted for this race again. It won well enough in Tramore. It's a good enough for him. It's a 5-2 shot. We back it. And then in the 450 at Nottingham with the going, I hope it's heavy, because the heavier the better for Solar Acclaim. It's a 7-2 shot. It was third last time out in the race that Narlikov won, and executive decision was fourth. So by him running well enough today, that was a decent enough run. It travelled well into the race. It just didn't quicken in the last. So if it gets out in front, I wouldn't mind seeing it out up at the pace tomorrow, and giving it stick, as they say. So that's Solar Acclaim. James Doyle taking the ride. It's a 3-year-old. Remember we had the winner of this 2 years ago at Fantasy, was no, won a couple in the heavy ground. It was a 3-year-old. 3-year-olds have won it the last couple of years. So hoping we can do the same again. There's a couple of Stash the Cash is in it. It won its last two, but it's stepping up in class and it gets a £6 hike, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember this in the old head. I'm not doing too bad tonight. Those other times I'd be a total blank. So we're on tomorrow too. We're heading God knows what time in the morning for Dingle. The question was asked, what do we do in Dingle? I said it depends on the weather. What can we do in the rain? I don't know. We'll have to think. Is there anything else we can do? Well, besides walking. So they're on to walk. You have to want to do stuff. So I don't know. Any suggestions? I know I said bring them out to the oratory, but one of them only wanted to go there. The two younger people I think mightn't even travel with us tomorrow. I said that they could tip into town and do something because it might be no harm to get away from the older people for the day. But anyway, I get this into the oven and get to the cart. Bash the bookies, over and out.